Hi, I'm recording this video for assignment 3. Let me pull it up real quick. Okay, perfect. So when looking at this assignment, it wanted us to construct a Turing machine and go through and fill out everything that was missing. And so the very first one it wanted us to look at was A. So I hope you can see my cursor right here, but A is referring to this line right here. And for that one, it says we're in state 1. So you reference and you look up at this transition table. And my answer for that, I got 1 comma x goes to 3xl. The reason for this, the 1 corresponds to the state that you're in. The x corresponds to where we left off and what we're going to change or move to. So we're looking at that x. And when I look at that transition table, when I start with the 1 and x, it brought me to 3xl. And it just shows that I went from x to x, and the L corresponds to moving left. And that kind of answers the next few questions as well. So if I look at what B was saying, they wanted to know what I write, and you would be writing x. And for C, it wanted to know the direction that you were moving in, and you were moving to the left. For D, now yours would read XBAX, and A is what's highlighted in red, and that's where you're going to be picking up to go to the next line. So for part E, the state that you're in is 3, so you went from state 1 to state 3, so now you're in state 3. And what I put in the next one, so what I put in F is 3 comma A goes to 7xl. So we're starting in state 3. We're starting at that variable A that we just left off at. That's where if you look back at the few previous ones, if you look back at D, that's what was highlighted. So we're looking at that A, and we're going to state 7, and we put an X and an L. That means that we are going from A to X, which is X is what we are going to be writing in G, and L, we are going to be moving 1 position to the left, and that answer is H as well. So H, we're moving to the left, so that's why we have an L there, and for G, we had the X because X is what we are writing. And for each of these, I keep referencing this transition table above as well to help me with the rules on the transition rules. All right, so now we're going to look at I. So after filling out those few, we're going to get X, B, X, X. And now, after we moved to the left, we ended up with B. And so that's what is being highlighted in red. So that's where we are now. And so now going to the next blank that we're filling out here. So we're jumping down to J. The state that I put is 0. The reason I did this is because if you look at the previous transition rule, you were going from state 7 to state 0. And so this state for J, I put 0. And then for K, we have to write the rule. So starting with transition state 0, so that's why I had that 0 there. And the last thing that we had highlighted, the last thing that we were looking at was B. And so that is, let me see if I can highlight. Oh, perfect. Okay. That's what we're going to be looking at right now. And so we have 0 to B goes to 2xr. And this transition rule I also grabbed from the transition table above. And so when I say we go to 2xr, I'm saying we're going from transition state 0 to 2. And B is going to be replaced with X. So X is what you're going to be writing. And the R corresponds to the direction that we're moving. So we're going to be moving to the right. And that's going to help answer our next few questions because all L was asking is what we were writing. So we were writing that X. And M was asking the direction that we were moving in, and that was R, so to the right. So after we do that, then we have to fill out N. And what we get now for N is we got X, 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 and it is the third position. Let me highlight it right here. That is, that X right there is the one that we put in red because that's where we are now. And basically the whole function of this Turing machine is now complete. And I believe that's the end of the assignment. But once you start filling out these Turing machines, the goal towards the end of these, you can see how they all, we turn everything to be all into the X's. And this is coding just like the beginning of like how computers work and the beginning of Turing machines and all of that. But thank you for listening.